Jason Gray, and welcome to my video on kayak camping. What I've got here is a 13-foot kayak, average size kayak, and I've got everything on that kayak I need for a 3-day camping trip. The most important thing you do when you do load a kayak is weight distribution and waterproofing. As you see, I've got buckets right here. I'll talk about those in a little while. One on each side. Got a small ice chest. Got a chair. Got to have comfort. And inside I've got my tent and my other stuff. It's a little heavier. Keep it low, keep the weight down so you're not so tipsy on the top, as well as my fishing gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload this kayak, put it right here on this table, and then we'll go over everything that I've got in this kayak for a nice, safe 3-day camping trip. The first thing to consider when packing is placement. You want your emergency equipment, whistle, compass, other things you need to get to right next to your person. Right here I've got an additional compass, just in case that one was to lose or break. I've got a knife. This is the only knife I carry. It's lighter, it's easier. I do all my filleting, my cleaning. Anything I need to do, that knife should cover. It's nice and strong. Other side here, GPS. Now you can't rely solely on the GPS because they do break down, but it is my best friend on the water. Good solid GPS. Other things to consider is right here behind me, I've got toilet paper. Very important. Got to keep it dry. Doesn't work worth a darn when it's wet. Safety equipment. There's no use putting that in the way back. If I get hurt or get a hook in me, I want my safety equipment right next to me. As well as a good solid sunscreen that's waterproof and something to keep the bugs off. Stuff that's not as important, I'm going to put way in the back, I'm going to put in the bottom. Another thing that's very important, water and hydration. I always have water in front of me because I'm drinking all day long. You need to bring at least a gallon to a gallon and a half of water per day of a camping trip. Fresh water is not always available. Where I camp mostly is salt water, so I'm bringing plenty of water, and we'll go over that again later. I keep a small ice chest right here behind me. I don't keep a lot in it. I cook most of my food while I'm out. Things I do keep in it though, again, more cold water. The best way to do that, freeze it the night before, last all day. It'll even last into the second day if it's a decent cooler. Another thing, nutrition, power bars. When you're paddling for miles and miles and miles, you're gonna get hungry, you don't wanna get weak. A lot of commercially available ones out there. I just throw a handful in there, keep them cool. They taste a little bit better when it's 90 degrees outside. Well, now I'm going to unload the kayak. I'm going to put it all on this table. You'll be amazed at how quickly this table fills up, and then we'll go exactly everything else that I packed. One thing I always bring, a good, comfortable chair. After I've been kayaking for 8 hours, fishing, catching God knows how many fish, in the evening I want to sit down and relax. It's a little big, it's a little bulky, but after 8 hours of paddling, you really appreciate it. And it's okay if it gets a little wet. You can dry it off. It's not going to hurt anything. The front hatch. Now this is supposedly waterproof hatch, but we all know if we got a kayak, water's going to get in there. So this is the only place I ever use a dry bag. It's not too heavy, weighs around 8-9 pounds. Again, I put it in the bottom of the kayak, keep the kayak more stable. In my dry bag, I've got rain gear, which also is great if it's chilly in the morning, windy. I'll put this on to stay a little warmer. I'm kayaking mostly in the summer. Good quality tent. Love this tent. It's a 2-man tent. It gives me room for me and all of my gear at night. Keeps the weather off of it, nice and dry in the morning. Sleeping pad. Sand looks soft, but when you're sleeping on it, it ain't soft. A good sleeping pad is worth its weight in gold. That's all I carry in there. Another thing up here, good tarp. I'll either use this up under my tent if it's moist, or I'll just use it as a put all my stuff on, spread it out, lay everything out, keeps the sand off stuff, keeps everything nice and dry. Again, as I mentioned before, water, fresh water. This is a gallon of water. You can get water bags. You can put these in the very bottom of your kayak, nice and low, low center of gravity. As you use them, as you drink the water, you roll them up, they store easily, they take up no room, no weight. Very useful piece of equipment, paddle. A lot of guys like white paddles. There's a problem with white paddles. When you're out paddling and the guides are out fishing and they see those white flashes on the horizon, they think, look, the birds are working, and they'll want to go run over and check you out. If you get in trouble, you can throw that up in the air, you can see it from miles away. I like yellow or bright blue or any color that's different in the horizon. That way somebody can see you and know you're in trouble, come help you. If you're kayaking by yourself in quick water, moving water, a tether is a very safe thing, easy to use, doesn't get in the way. A lot of people don't like to use them, don't think they need them. But if the current's moving and you fall overboard or you drop your paddle, you'll really be glad you got one. Dry storage. I don't have a lot of dry storage up front. Got a pair of pliers, they float. Keep my wallet in here, my keys, my phone, really important stuff that I need to get to really easily. I always want to know where it is. I don't want to ever have to look for it. Water. I'm always drinking water when I'm out paddling. I like an anchor. A lot of people use a stakeout pole. I've got one of these. I keep my anchor right here next to me tethered up. The reason is, if I happen to get out of the kayak really quickly, or if I was to actually fall out of the kayak, that's going to go out with me. It's going to go to the bottom. It's going to stop the kayak right there. My kayak's not getting blown across the bay with the wind. It's really not in the way. I got used to it. I kind of like it right there. This kayak comes with a small hatch. It's not waterproof, so I don't really keep anything in it, except a pair of gloves. I use these. Maybe I got a slimy fish I want to grab. But I always keep a pair of gloves on board just in case I get blisters from paddling. Sometimes it happens, your hands get worn out, you start getting a blister. You can put on a good pair of soft cotton gloves and paddle a lot further without any heartaches or pain. Good seats, always the way to go, but that's part of the kayak. I carry a landing net. I catch a lot of fish. I want to be able to handle them safely and easily. In here, I carry one box for all my tackle equipment. It's easier. I know exactly what I'm using. It's all in one spot. It's waterproof. If it falls over, it floats. Other two things I carry is my dry storage. Now, I bought these at a deli for $2 a piece. They are handy. They're bright. They're easy to use. If they float, if they fall in the water, they float. And they're extremely dry. More water. Now you can carry water in the bags if you have them. If not, 2-gallon jug or gallon jugs are good. 2-liter bottles, soda bottles are really nice. You can stuff them in all the holes and you can stuff them in the bottom. The only other thing I have is my tow rope. So I use my tow rope for multiple things. One, towing the kayak if I'm wading and fishing. Tying up. It's long enough I can use as a clothesline, tying everything down. But I keep it right next to me. It's a piece of rope. You can use it for anything. Okay, now let's explore what I've got in these little yellow buckets. Again, England's Deli, they were $2 a piece. It was cheap, they're tough, versatile, and you can play frisbee with them. So, first thing I got, microfiber towel. Gotta have a towel, microfiber. Very absorbent, very small. Pair of dry shoes. A lot of times I kayak barefoot or I kayak in sandals all day. But when you're walking around camp at night, you want a pair of dry, comfortable shoes. pair of shorts, pair of sweatpants, just in case it's a little chilly at night. Microfiber shirts. The microfiber stuff, it's thin, it's cool, it's comfortable. If it gets wet, it dries very, very quickly. They even make microfiber underwear, and yes, I use that too. Couple pair of dry socks, very comfortable at night around the campfire. Sleeping bag. I just use a light fleece sleeping bag. It's all I tend to need. Again, I'm not camping in the middle of wintertime. So that's it for this bucket. Once your bucket's empty, you can use it to collect trash. You can turn it upside down. Real neat trick is turn both of them upside down. Take your kayak, flip it upside down, and set it on top of them. You got a really nice table for cooking, cleaning, putting all your stuff. Very handy. Now this bucket has everything in it. Headlamp. If you're paddling, you're not going to be able to hold a flashlight. Invest in a good headlamp. Charcoal. It only takes 6 briquettes of charcoal to cook a big piece of fish over a piece of tinfoil. In here, I've got 18 pieces of charcoal. I can cook 3 dinners on this. My tinfoil, Ziploc bag, in case I got a couple leftovers. Salt, pepper, forks, knives, couple lighters, everything I need to cook my dinner. Olive oil. Carrying butter melts. You don't need a big thing with Pam. A little bit of olive oil in a small container. That's all you need to do. Grease your tinfoil, put your fish on it, a little salt and pepper. You've been kayaking all day for 8 hours, it'll be the best thing you've tasted in hours. Dry boxes. This one will hold an iPod. You plug your headphone outside, keeps everything dry, just in case you get bored and you want to listen to some tunes. Books on tape are really nice for those really long trips where you're going to be paddling for 6 or 7 hours before you reach your destination. Wash rag, clean up, wash your hands, whatever you got to do after dinner. I carry a flare. I only carry one. It's only for emergencies. It's not required on a kayak, but you never know. You get in trouble, something happens. It might save your life. I carry a water bottle. In here in the bottom, I've got some pills for distillation of water, just in case if I am camping where I can get fresh water. I throw a couple pills, throw some water in there, shake it up, let it sit for 20 minutes, I'm good to go. This isn't necessary, but it's handy. Now, there's a lot of solar panels nowadays that are really good. I don't have one. Every time I get one, it gets destroyed. I use a regular 12-volt dry cell battery. I got a cord here with a cigarette lighter in it. It's also got a USB converter in it. I can recharge my phone 15 times with this thing. It lasts forever. So, just handy to have, something I use. Got my toiletries, deodorant, soap, Q-tips. Hatchet for cutting wood, driving in camp stakes. Hand cleaner. Wash your hands, pots, whatever you need to wash for that. Universal, biodegradable. This is a hammock. If you're camping where there's trees, forget the tent, take a good hammock. It has a cover inside of it. It's comfortable. You can sit there, sleep. Really nice, takes up no room. I carry one just to relax in the daytime. This is another tarp. It's a microfiber tarp. It's real handy. If it gets to raining, I can put it over my stuff. Keeps everything dry. I usually fish when I camp, but you never know. You might have to have some rations just because the fishing was bad that day. A couple garbage bags. Leave no trace. Make sure you take all your trash in, all your trash out. I also use it for my wet, dirty clothes on the way out. Throw them in that, stuffing them by the kayak, they're out of the way, no problem. Fuel. Micro jet boil stove. You put that on there, you can boil water in seconds. Takes up no room. It's a great, great thing. If it's real rainy, if it's real miserable, I can also cook fish on this. I carry a small pot, have to boil water, no problem. My hot chocolate in the morning, it's good to go. Inside, I keep a dry lighter, extra batteries, another whistle, everything I need. Another flashlight for around the campsite. All-purpose tool. Fire starting kit. Inside here is tinder, dryer lint, striker, another lighter. Miniature roll of duct tape. Use it for everything. You get a really bad cut, duct tape's way better than Band-Aid. My water distillation kit, just in case. And a good map, just in case my GPS breaks down. I want to know where I'm going. I want to know how to get back home. This and a compass, I can go anywhere. That's it for a 3-day camping trip. That's all I've needed. Done it many a time, had a really good time, and doing it next weekend. So I'll just pack all this stuff up and get ready to go. And one more thing, for those of you guys that do like to fish like I do, a couple other things. Invest in a good PFD. Always wear it. I wear this one all the time. It's very comfortable. The pockets are really nice. Another thing, a good hat. Keep the sun out of your eyes. A good pair of polarized glasses. Little trick I learned. I love these Swiss Army knives. It's got pliers or scissors. It's got toothpick, tweezers. Really handy. Cuts a braided line. I keep it around my neck. It's always there when I need it. So, and that's about it, guys. So remember what Jason says, have yak, we'll travel.